A television news network that knows one thing to be true, but when the cameras are rolling, they tell their viewers something else entirely. That is the central allegation detailed in Dominion Voting Systems' court filing in its massive defamation case against Fox News. Now, because of it, there's now page after page of material from inside the network revealing that Fox senior executives and on-air talent knew that the former president's lies about the 2020 presidential election were indeed lies. And then knowing this, but afraid of losing viewership, those executives and those on-air people perpetuated those same lies. Lies that, according to the filing, even Fox chairman Rupert Murdoch called, quote, really crazy stuff. More now from CNN's Brian Todd.
Immediately after Joe Biden's 2020 victory, Fox News hosts were unabashed in promoting the false declarations that the election had been stolen from Donald Trump.
Electronic voting machines didn't allow people to vote, apparently. And that, whatever you think of it, the cause of it, it shakes people's faith in the system. That is an actual threat to democracy.
I can factually tell you tonight, it will be impossible to ever know the true, fair, accurate election results.
But tonight, a new court filing shows that in private, Fox hosts Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and Sean Hannity were brutally ridiculing the claims of election fraud and the people who were making them. Their private messages in a legal filing that's part of Dominion Voting Systems' $1.6 billion lawsuit against Fox News. One person they insulted, Trump campaign lawyer Sidney Powell, a vociferous election lie promoter.
What we are really dealing with here and uncovering more by the day is the massive influence of communist money through Venezuela, Cuba, and likely China.
In one text revealed in the court filing, Tucker Carlson texted Laura Ingraham saying, quote, Sidney Powell is lying. I caught her. It's insane. Ingraham responded, quote, Sidney is a complete nut. No one will work with her. Ditto with Rudy. A reference to Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani and his post-election claims.
There was a plan from a centralized place to execute these various acts of voter fraud.
In other messages, Sean Hannity said Giuliani was, quote, acting like an insane person. Ingraham described Giuliani as an idiot. Fox Corporation Chairman Rupert Murdoch said it was, quote, really bad that Giuliani was advising Trump.
This tells you a lot about Fox News' internal machinations. It tells you that they have one version of the world that they keep to themselves and another version of the world that they broadcast to their viewers. The two are entirely incompatible.
But Fox kept promoting election denialism. In one instance, a Fox reporter did a fact check on election lies. Tucker Carlson texted Sean Hannity saying, quote, please get her fired. Seriously, what the F? He goes on, I'm actually shocked. It needs to stop immediately, like tonight. It's measurably hurting the company. Why did Fox keep pushing election denial on the air? The filings in the Dominion suit suggest that Fox executives were worried about losing viewers to Newsmax, a smaller conservative channel that was constantly selling election denial. Trump himself, furious that Fox had called Arizona for Biden, had encouraged his followers to switch to Newsmax.
Since 2002, Fox News has basically been the preeminent ratings champion in cable news. And you see here, the moment that they see any sign that might be slipping away, it's panic.
But the Dominion filings also say that when then-President Trump tried to call in to Fox on January 6th, the day his supporters attacked the Capitol, Fox executives refused to put Trump on the air.
Fox News denies Dominion's claims in the lawsuit and says it's proud of its 2020 election coverage. Fox says these new court filings contain cherry-picked quotes that lack context. In a statement, Fox accused Dominion of generating, quote, noise and confusion, and said the core of this case remains freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Anderson?
Brian Todd, appreciate it. Extraordinary. Joining us now is Marianne Franks. She teaches law at the University of Miami with a focus on the First and Second Amendments. Marianne, given the communications from Fox News personalities and management privately dismissing the former president's voter fraud claims while promoting them on air, and Dominion's repeated emails over the course of, I think, weeks or months to executives and on-air talent and producers informing them that what they were saying was not true, does Dominion's case to you meet the legal standard of actual malice?
It certainly seems really compelling. What these documents show is that when we're looking for evidence of actual malice, which in regular person terms is really just knowing or having strong doubts about whether something is true and deciding to pursue the amplification anyway, These documents are showing that multiple people, higher ups at Fox, really did know that these things were false. Not just that they doubted it, but they absolutely knew that they were false, and nonetheless decided to continue to promote that narrative.
What sticks out to you as the most damning evidence here?
It's really hard to pick in some ways, because what you have is so many accounts of so many various people at Fox who are speaking amongst themselves and talking about how they know these things are false, how they know that their audience is wanting something that is a comforting narrative that has no basis in reality, and how because they are eager to do the bidding of a failed president, and because they're eager to make sure that they continue to have this market share, that they're going to do it anyway, that they're not going to care about the truth, that they're not going to care about freedom of expression, but they're going to care mostly about profits and market share.
Fox News argues that they were merely reporting on something that was newsworthy, and that much of the voter fraud conversations happened on opinion shows, which aren't a forum for actual facts. Do you think there's any merit to that argument?
There's a real fine line sometimes between newsworthiness and defamation, but newsworthiness is something along the lines of reporting on the controversy. The president is making these allegations. A responsible media outlet is going to talk about the sourcing for those allegations, the evidence for those allegations. They don't present them as though they were true or with no contrary narrative. They wouldn't simply just try to amplify them as if they were true. So it may be newsworthy that the president was making those allegations, but that doesn't mean you simply give unfiltered access and amplification to those claims when they have no basis in fact.
Do you think this case will go to a jury trial, or do you think there's a chance it could get settled?
It's possible at this stage that there really will be a summary judgment. It's hard to predict what will happen. The stakes of this case are really high, not just in terms of the outcome of this lawsuit, but in terms of ethical standards and whether or not news media outlets can really say and hide behind claims like the First Amendment when they're deliberately deceiving their audiences for profit.
It's just fascinating to see these internal documents and these conversations between these on-air people. Marianne Franks, appreciate it. What do voters in South Carolina think about their former governor entering the presidential race, taking on the former president? And what if their current senator, Tim Scott, gets in as well? Our Gary Tuchman went to the Palmetto State to find out. That's ahead.